Thank you, Praveen, for that wonderful invocation to God. Ladies and gentlemen, a very, very warm welcome to all the trailblazers. Let me also welcome our chief guest for today's District Training Assembly, the RI, General Secretary and CEO, Rotarian Holger Kinnack to our meeting. John Hewko to our meeting. A very, very warm welcome to you, sir. I would also like to welcome our District Governor, Joseph Matthew, to this meeting, our District Trainer, past Governor K. Krishna Shetty, to this meeting, our District Councillor, past Governor Dr. B. Devdas Rai, to this meeting, and our trainer, PDG Dr. R.S. Nagarjun, to this meeting. We also have with us DGN A.R. Ravindra Bhatt, a very, very warm welcome to you. We also have DGND Rotarian Prakash Karant. Welcome to you, sir. We also have with us past governors GK Balakrishnan with us. We have PDG Krishna with us. We have Dr. Ravi Appaji. We have past governor Suresh Changappa with us. A very, very warm welcome to all of you. We also have DGND from 3182, Dr. Gauri. A very, very warm welcome to you, ma'am. Let me also welcome the chair, the co-chairs, the vice chairs, the members of my secretariat, the assistant governors who are working day and night to make this year successful, the zonal coordinators, the zonal lieutenants, the presidents and secretaries, and all the Rotarians who are here in this assembly. Thank you very much, and a special thanks to host Praveen Udupa for hosting this wonderful district assembly, where we had great participation from many, many members of our district 3181. Let me again recall what happened in the last sessions of the district training assembly. On the first day during the inauguration, we had a wonderful inauguration of the district training assembly on 5th June, when we had RI Director Valerie Wafer inaugurating and delivering a wonderful speech about the core values of Rotary. In the same meeting, we had past Governor Sunil Zacharias telling us about the importance of membership development. On Sunday last, we had a wonderful address. I think it was one of the finest I have ever heard, and that was from incoming RI President Holger Kinnack, and he charged us with such an enthusiasm, and we will be taking our new responsibility with greater fervor. On Tuesday, we had more than 300 Rotarians taking part in the 3 concurrent sessions, and I would like to thank past governors our Guru K. Krishna Shetty, Dr. Devdas Rai, Dr. R.S. Nagarjun, DGN Ravindra Bhatt, and DGND Prakash Karant for training our incoming trail leaders. For the information of all the participants, all these videos of the district assembly and all the trainings that we have held in the past are available for viewing on YouTube for your reference. I have always said that the most exciting time at the district assembly is when you get to meet great personalities who put in their best and who have put in their best to bring Rotary to what it is today, and also to make friends with them. So let me tell you about an incident that happened when I was in the International Assembly this year. It was time to take a photograph with the incoming RI President Holger Kinnack, and I went inside the room, and there is a long queue for the photographs to be taken. And what you have to do is you will have to keep your bag on one of the tables there. There is a small paper on which the district number is given. You've got to hold it and stand in a queue and take a photograph with the incoming president. And after the photograph was taken, Rajini, I came back to the table, and we were really surprised to see our General Secretary and CEO of the Rotary International sitting on the table along with his wife Marga. And he is so popular that he was not conversing with us, but so many people, everybody in the room was coming to him and shaking hands with him. But when everybody settled down, Marga and John started conversing with us, and he was asking us suggestions about Rotary. What do you think of this? What do you think of that? He was giving us so much importance. I was really elated. And Marga is so nice and kind, and she talks to you as if she's been knowing you for a lifetime. I, being a cyclist, I told him that I am a cyclist like you, and he said, "Okay, you come to a event to Tucson in October, but because of this pandemic, I don't think we can ever come there." And but the kindness in him really impressed me. And I also requested him that we are having a ride for Rotary event in our district. Could he share his tweet about it? In tweet about it, he said, "Wonderful! You give me the details. I will definitely do that." And here are the photographs. Here are the photographs which I took with him when we were in the district assembly. This is me and Rajini with Marga and John Hewko. And this is me talking to him about me being a cyclist. I don't know whether he believed me that I'm a cyclist, but I am a cyclist. Looking at my size, I really am. Thank you, sir, for that wonderful way in which you treated us at the International Assembly. And we are very, very happy to have you with us. And I now request Praveen Udupa to give us a video presentation of our chief guest.
John Hewko is the General Secretary and CEO of Rotary International, one of the world's largest service and humanitarian organizations with 36,000 clubs and 1.2 million members throughout the world, and of its foundation, the Rotary Foundation. He oversees the operations of both entities and manages a combined operating budget of over $450 million and assets of more than $1 billion. Hewko also manages Rotary's relationship with strategic partners and governments and leads a staff of almost 800 at Rotary's world headquarters in Evanston, Illinois, and in 7 offices outside the United States. From 2004 to 2009, he was Vice President for Operations and Compact Development for the Millennium Challenge Corporation, a U.S. government agency established in 2004 to deliver foreign assistance to the world's poorest countries. At MCC, he was the principal United States negotiator for foreign assistance agreements to 26 countries in Africa, Asia, South America, the Middle East, and the former Soviet Union. During his tenure, he completed the negotiation of assistance agreements totaling $6.3 billion to 18 countries for infrastructure, agriculture, water and sanitation, health and education projects. Prior to joining MCC, Hewko was an international partner with the law firm Baker & McKenzie, specializing in international corporate transactions in emerging markets. He helped establish the firm's Moscow office and was the managing partner of its offices in Kyiv and Prague. Hewko holds a law degree from Harvard University, a master's in modern history from Oxford University, where he studied as a Marshall Scholar, and a bachelor's in government and Soviet studies from Hamilton College in Clinton, New York. He speaks 4 languages besides English: Portuguese, Russian, Spanish, and Ukrainian. He is a member emeritus of the Board of Trustees of the Ukrainian Catholic University in Lviv, Ukraine, and a trustee of Western Reserve Academy in Hudson, Ohio. He is also a member of the Council on Foreign Relations. Ladies and gentlemen, General Secretary, CEO, Rotary International and the Rotary Foundation, John Hewko.
now request our chief guest, Rotarian John Hewko, to address us.
Well, thank you, Ranga, so much for that very warm, overly generous welcome. It's a delight to be here at the District 3181 District Assembly training. And yes, I remember with great fondness our luncheon that we had together at the International Assembly. Very much enjoyed our conversation, and certainly want to wish you personally all the best as you embark on your governor year starting in on the 1st of July. Wish you all the best, and look forward to working with you and your team and your fellow Rotarians in the district. What I thought I would do is perhaps provide you with maybe a global overview of where we stand as an organization today, and then perhaps share with you my thoughts on Rotary in the future, particularly in light of the COVID pandemic and the difficulties that the world is going through right now. You know, as Governor Ranga mentioned, or it was in the video, one of my principal obligations is to oversee the Rotary International professional staff, and we have about 750 professional staff employed by Rotary International, about 550 here in Evanston in our world headquarters, and then we have another 200 some in our 7 offices outside of North America, including almost 40 in our office in Delhi, which is the office which supports you, the Rotarians, in District 3181. And back in January, it became very clear to me that this COVID pandemic, which was just starting, was going to sweep the globe. And so, as an organization, I organized very early on in January a COVID response team, and we took the months of January and February to really think through how are we going to transition Rotary International and our international operations to full work at home status. And I sent the entire secretariat home for a day to sort of see what it would be like working remotely. I'm glad we did it. We were able to find kinks in the system. We were able to deal with them, get our IT systems in place. And then on March 12th, we went to basically full work at home status for the entire secretariat. And I must say the transition was very seamless. And today, as I speak, the secretariat continues to support the Rotarians around the world as we were before the COVID-19 crisis began. And so I just want to assure you that from an operational perspective, as we speak today, Rotary situation is very sound. Also get a lot of questions about, okay, what is this all going to mean, this new normal, social distancing, lockdowns, etc. How is this going to affect our membership going forward? That's a very, very important and fair question to ask. And I personally like to manage based on as much data as possible, rather than on intuition and anecdote and supposition. And we're very fortunate to have on staff a PhD statistician. And what I asked him to do was to look at the last 115 years of Rotary's history. What has happened historically to our membership when we have, as an organization, gone through wars and crises and other pandemics, and then use that 115 years of data to try to project out, using mathematical modeling, what we anticipate happening to membership, at least from a statistical perspective. And what's interesting is that if one looks back at the last 115 years, there's only one year in Rotary's history when we saw a significant drop in membership. And that was 2 years after the Great Depression in the late 20s, early 30s ended. And that drop in membership was a little over 5%. And all of the other great crises, pandemics, world wars that the world has faced in the last 115 years, we've either seen, paradoxically, an increase in membership or drops of memberships of under 2%. And so if you look at the last, so again, only once in our history have we seen a significant drop, and that was a little over 5% 2 years after the Depression. The latest crisis, the 2007, 2008 economic crisis, membership fell less than 1%. And so we need to remember that a 1% drop in membership represents about an $800,000 loss in revenues to Rotary International. And so even if we were to experience a 5% membership loss, and again, that's only happened once in our history, that's a $4 million loss in revenue. And Rotary senior leaders through the years, and we have been very prudent with our finances. And Rotary has a very robust reserve precisely for situations such as this, more than adequate to weather even a 5% drop in membership, which again has only happened once in our history. And so we are, as I currently speak, not only operationally sound, but financially sound. And as we look at the data and try to project out going forward, sort of with 95% probability, there is a 95% probability that we will have a membership increase or decrease plus or minus 1 to 2%. So using the historical data, if we were to have a membership drop, we don't project that being anywhere near the 5% that again only happened once in our history. So again, we're very operationally sound as I speak, and we are financially sound. A lot of questions about sort of how's Rotary responded to the COVID crisis. And again, as I'm sure you're aware, the trustees allocated very quickly, trustees of the Rotary Foundation, $3 million for the COVID Disaster Response Fund. That $3 million was supplemented by an additional $1.7 million that came from contributions from Rotarians, district designated funds, DDF, and then also refunds from the convention. As you're aware, our convention has been canceled. Unfortunately, we're going to be having a virtual convention, and everyone who registered for the convention received the full refund, and it was possible to designate your convention refunds to go to the COVID Disaster Response Fund. So we had about a $4.7 million fund to work with. Each district was allowed to submit a grant for up to $25,000 for COVID-related activities. We received over 300 grants. Unfortunately, that was the money in the fund was not enough to cover every grant proposal. So that fund now is out of money. However, we're working very hard to see if we can replenish that. In addition, we've received probably $13 million or so of global grants that are specifically related to COVID activities. And so if you take the global grants and then what we have dispersed through the Disaster Response Fund, in a very short few months, Rotary has spent close to $18 million on COVID-related activities. And of course, that doesn't even touch the tremendous work that's happening on the ground at the club and the district and the regional level, where as I travel the Rotary world, meeting virtually with Rotarians, I'm just awestruck by the work that's being done locally everywhere throughout the world, whether it's personal protective equipment, whether it's providing food or shelter or support. The work of Rotarians has been extraordinary, and they've done an extraordinary job of stepping up and making a difference. So I think we could all be proud as Rotarians of the work that our organization globally has done in supporting the COVID-related activities. Questions on polio. What's going to happen to polio eradication efforts in light of this new normal of our new social distancing reality? And unfortunately, the Global Polio Eradication Initiative has had to suspend the door-to-door vaccination campaigns for obvious reasons due to the social distancing. I understand there are some vaccinations that are happening in Pakistan, for example, but unfortunately, the NIDs in general have been suspended. However, I think what is encouraging is that we are repurposing the polio infrastructure to support COVID-related activities. If you recall, several years ago in West Africa, with the Ebola outbreak, the polio infrastructure was very successfully deployed to help stop the spread of Ebola, particularly in Nigeria. And so even though we may have suspended vaccinations, the door-to-door campaign, certainly, we need to continue to raise money for polio. The 2-to-1 agreement we have with the Gates Foundation is still in place. We need to raise that $50 million so that we can receive the $100 million match from the Gates Foundation. And as we emerge from this crisis, when we do, we will need to redouble our polio efforts precisely because some of the door-to-door campaigning has not been as robust as we would like given the social distancing. And so more than ever, we will need the resources and the work and the advocacy and passion of Rotarians emerge from this crisis. A lot of questions on dues. Are we going to waive or decrease dues? And as I said, the Secretariat, the Rotary International Infrastructure continues to operate at full speed. And so there is presently no, we will not be suspending or waiving dues. And again, let's remember, it's $34 twice a year, $68 in total, US dollars. However, to the extent that there are districts or clubs that are facing difficulties, we will consider on a case-by-case basis requests to delay the payment of dues. And frankly, we've received very, very few requests for delaying of dues payments. The vast majority, I'd say 95% of the requests are coming from your part of the world, from India. So the dues, again, will not be waived or suspended. We are, again, willing to entertain requests to delay payment based on individual circumstances. So that's sort of a rough snapshot of where we currently are as an organization. And let me just shift to my thoughts on where we may be headed in the future. You know, this is a very, very difficult time that we're facing in the world. There's no question about that. However, you know, very often in a crisis, in that wall of dark clouds, you do see a few white clouds, a few silver linings. And I think this crisis for Rotary represents such an opportunity. You know, we have been globally, you know, our membership has been flat at about 1.2 million. And again, I'm giving you here a global perspective. Our membership has been flat at 1.2 million. And we've been largely able to maintain our membership at that level because of growth in your region, growth in Asia. And we're seeing, you know, significant membership declines in the US, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, the UK. And again, it's been balanced off by the significant growth in India and other countries in that region. And so the question then is, how do we deal with this membership decline in those countries where it's happening? And for me, in many ways, it's a question of we're selling a product to the market, and the product isn't soap or bleach. It's we're selling an experience, the club experience, the experience you get when you join a Rotary Club, and you pay for that experience with your dues and with your time. And what we're finding in the markets that I just outlined and in others is people are either not buying our product, or if they buy it, it isn't what it was cracked up to be. You know, last year we had 150,000 people join Rotary worldwide. We lost 150,000 Rotarians at the same time. And so in those places where our membership is not growing as much as we'd like or is falling, I think we need to diversify our product line. For 115 years, we had a one-size-fits-all model. The traditional club experience, a meeting every week. It worked, and it was very highly successful. And I suspect in your part of the world, the traditional model in most places continues to work well, which is fine. But if it's not, starting with the 2016 Council on Legislation, clubs now have tremendous flexibility in terms of how to structure their meetings, meeting frequency, membership types, membership categories, etc. I like to say, you know, there is no Rotary police. You know, for me, the rules are only important to the sense the rules are actually creating strong and vibrant clubs. That's what's really important. Clubs that are growing, clubs that are attracting high quality members, and clubs that are really making a difference. And so we've been really focusing over the last few years on this issue of club flexibility. And it's been difficult, to be honest. Now, with this COVID pandemic, the entire Rotary world in one fell swoop was forced to move to a new online regime. And we've also been trying for the last 4 or 5 years to really encourage the greater use of technology. And there was some resistance. Now the entire world had to move to a new way of operating, other than e-clubs. Of course, e-clubs continue, they've always operated this way, and so they have been able to continue operating as well. And so I think this really represents an opportunity for Rotary globally to think about meaningful change. It's an opportunity to embrace technology. It's an opportunity to perhaps structure ourselves in a new and different way. Of course, what can never change is the four-way test, our values, our ethics. And of course, that personal interaction is something that will always continue. And I think all of us can't wait to get back to the old normal when we can get together physically and do stuff together. However, I do think we will come out of this for the better. Again, this is forcing us to rethink things, forcing us to be more innovative, and perhaps we may even see a growing membership, particularly in that demographic. In many parts of the world, we've been struggling to attract young professionals. This is now an opportunity. They live in this space. This is not a new environment for them. And this is an excellent opportunity to perhaps attract membership from a demographic that we have had trouble doing that in the past. So let me just close with 6 specific calls to action to the Rotary world in this new normal that we are living. The first has to do with Rotaract. We have been working very hard over the last few years, particularly since the Council on Legislation, to elevate Rotaract. Rotaract clubs are now members of the Association of Rotary Clubs. Worldwide, only 5%, that's 5% of Rotaractors become Rotarians. 95% do not. And that's a tragedy. These are young men and women who are passionate about Rotary, our ideals, our values, and yet very few of them actually become Rotarians. And so as an organization, we have a challenge. How do we strengthen our ties with Rotaractors? And how do we facilitate the glide path, the transition from Rotaract to Rotary? And this, in my view, the world we're living in now is an excellent opportunity to bridge the gap with the Rotaractors, to strengthen our ties with Rotaractors. Again, they live in this space. They know this space. They are a tremendous resource to us in this time. They have incredible creativity in this digital online world. So my first call to action is let's utilize this moment to strengthen our ties with Rotaractors, bridge the generational differences that might exist. And let's use this new reality to try to smooth the transition of Rotaractors to Rotary. And that means engaging with them as equal partners in our projects, in our meetings, and in the work that we do. Number 2, we need to come out of this. We need to work very hard on member retention, so that when this crisis is over, we come out of this crisis as strong, if not stronger, than we were when we went into this crisis. Now, again, on a global level, the data shows that the longer one stays in Rotary, the less likely you are to leave Rotary. And that the danger spot for people leaving, globally at least, and it's going to vary from club to club and district to district, is generally in the 2nd or 3rd year of membership. Those are the Rotarians, if they leave, that tends to be those that are sort of newer to Rotary. So as we think about member retention, it's important to engage all of our members, particularly at this difficult time, but particularly important to engage members who are newer to Rotary. Third, projects. Most of our projects we do require us to meet in person, to do things together. Well, that's not possible, at least in the near and medium term. So we need to unleash the creativity of our 1.2 million Rotarians and really think about how are we going to do our projects in this new online environment. I don't have a magic bullet. I don't have an answer. But I think if we all put our thinking caps on with 1.2 million Rotarians, and if we get our Rotaractors involved, I think we're going to come up with creative solutions on how we might be able to do to continue to do good in the world in this new environment. 4, same issue with fundraising. Most of our fundraising activities are people getting together to raise money. Ranga talked about the bike rides. We've got the walkathons. We have pancake days. We have million rupee or $1 million or million yen dinners. Meeting physically to, again, raise money for our various causes. Well, that's going to be much more difficult in this new reality. So how are we going to continue to raise money, which we need to do because we need to continue to do our good work in this new virtual environment? And here again, we need to really unleash our creativity. Here again, I believe the Rotaractors can be incredibly helpful. For me, the gold standard is the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge. If you remember a few years ago, people were dumping buckets of ice on each other, me included, to raise money for ALS. They raised, I think, $300 million at a cost of 0. So how are we going to come up with our new ALS Ice Bucket Challenge for the Rotary causes? I know I was meeting with a group of Ukrainian Rotarians a month ago, and One of the clubs there organized a virtual beer fest. People were buying and selling beers online. I guess at the end of the day, somebody got a case of beer delivered to their home, but it was a effective fundraising tool for that club in that country. May or may not work in your clubs in your region, but this is the kind of creativity we need to start thinking about in terms of fundraising. 5, the world is much more connected, paradoxically, the Rotary world in some ways. Through technology, we have 227 people on this meeting. A few weeks ago, I had a similar event in Brazil. 1,700 Brazilian Rotarians participated. And I got off of that meeting and went to another one with 400 Rotarians. We're hearing anecdotally that clubs used to have 50% attendance, and now they have 90% attendance because it's so easy to attend meetings, etc. However, I also suspect that there are clubs that aren't meeting. There are Rotarians who are not engaged. And that is tragic, because if a club goes 4 or 5 months without meeting, that club is almost surely is going to disappear. And so we need to focus particularly on those clubs that are struggling, that aren't meeting, that aren't engaged. If it's technology or if it's inertia. So if there are clubs in your district or neighboring clubs that are struggling, help them, because we need to make sure that every club is meeting, every club is engaged, and every Rotarian is engaged so that we come out of this crisis stronger than when we came in. And then finally, the sky is not falling for Rotary. The world is living through an extraordinarily difficult time. There's no denying that. But I think for Rotary, we are operationally sound. We are financially sound. In fact, I would say the world needs Rotary now more than ever. In fact, I would say Rotary was built for situations just like this. Deep, deep roots in almost every community in the world. I like to say there's not a politician in the world who doesn't have a Rotarian as a constituent. This is our moment. This is really our moment to take advantage of our 115-year glorious history, of our tradition of giving back, our tradition of connecting communities, of making a difference. Again, Rotary was built for moments like this. The world needs Rotary more now than ever. So I want to thank each and every one of you in District 3181 for all that you're doing for Rotary, all that you're doing for your communities, all that you're doing for your countries, for your fellow citizens, and for all that you will be doing next year as you assume leadership in District 3181. The world's need Rotary more than ever. We were built for moments like this. Now is our moment more than ever. So Governor-elect Ranga, thank you for having me. Delighted to be able to address this district assembly. And I wish all of you all the best in the upcoming Rotary year and behind. So thank you very much again.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. We had so many doubts in our mind, and you have thrown light on all those what we wanted to know about Rotary. And those 6 points that you made, we are really working on it. We are having committees to handhold clubs which are weak. Definitely we will do that. And we have got a wonderful chairman in Rotarian Shekhar Shetty, who has taken up the lead in membership development. We want to have this 30% growth in this year, and we will definitely do that. Thank you very much, sir. Let me now welcome our RI Director-elect A.S. Venkatesh to this meeting. Welcome to you, sir. I would also like to welcome a few people who are regularly with us, who come to our meetings. DGN Dolly Eep from Malaysia, District 3310. Welcome to you, Dolly. And we have from RI District 1800, the DRFC, Sabina Gartner Nish. Welcome to you, Sabina. We also have our DRR. Sir, you said Rotaract is being very, very important. So we are giving a lot of importance to Rotaractors. We have with us DRR Ganesh with us. Welcome to you, Ganesh. We also have PDG Abhinandan Shetty from 3182. A very, very warm welcome to you. Thank you very much for coming. We have Geraldine Singh from Kanyakumari. So a lot of Rotarians from outside our district visiting us. Thank you very much for visiting us. Now, let me go to the time when we had our pets. We were one of the very few districts to have AGTS and pets. When we actually shook hands, we sat together to listen to speakers, and when we planned the pets at Kushal Nagar, that's a place, a very place. It's called the Switzerland of India. We never thought that every assistant governor, every zonal referent, every zonal coordinator, and every president and secretary would be there. And so the resort in which we're staying, it was totally full of Rotarians and the members of the secretariat, 7 of us, and I had to stay in the servants' quarters. And in the 2 rooms, we 8 were huddled together. But the excitement was so much that we did not mind it at all. But when the morning came, there was no water in the section where the VIPs were housed. And mind you, ladies and gentlemen, none of them complained. To my relief, none of them complained. Not even Venki sir, who was one of the speakers there. You were one of the one who was affected by the water shortage, but you gave a superb presentation on vibrant clubs, and we will remember it for a very, very long time. Praveen, let's have a look at the introduction of RI Director-elect A.S. Venkatesh.
A.S. Venkatesh, Rotary International Director, 2021 to 23. Anantanarayanan Sankaralingam Venkatesh, affectionately known as Venki, is a technocrat, thinker, management guru, and motivational speaker. He is the Managing Director of Popular Foundations Private Limited, engaged in the business of civil construction with over 30 years of expertise in the construction of educational institutions, industrial buildings, and hotels. A native of the South Indian city of Chennai in Tamil Nadu, Venki's growing years were marked by academic excellence, sports, athletics, debating, and stage acting, characterizing his well-rounded and multifaceted personality. He studied engineering at the prestigious Indian Institute of Technology, IIT, Chennai. After his B.Tech, he chose to remain in India for his post-graduation and got his MBA from India's topmost management school, the Indian Institute of Management, IIM, Ahmedabad, graduating in the top 10% of the class. Venki's Rotary journey started with RC Chennai Mambalam and was its president in 2001-2002. Popular for his pleasant demeanor, quick wit, leadership qualities, and always ready-to-help attitude, he became the youngest district governor of RI District 3230 in 2007-2008. Venki is passionate about the cause of the girl child, and his work on the empowerment of girls is peppered with many individual and institutional success stories. He became a much sought-after speaker at Rotary and non-Rotary forums. He is equally at ease among Rotary leaders and social celebrities. As a PDG, Venki was actively involved in Rotary India Literacy Mission and was its National Executive Committee member and Joint Secretary. He has been a panelist at several breakout sessions at international conventions and has also represented the RI President at various conferences in India and abroad. Venki was part of the COL. In 2016, Venki was selected to train the incoming governors at the International Assembly at San Diego in 2016 and again in 2017. He was Rotary Coordinator during 2010-2013 and served as a trainer for coordinators at Chicago for 3 years, from 2015 to 2017, both years included. a family man. Venki and his family continue to live in the parental home along with his parents, 2 brothers and their families. His greatest inspiration is his father, a self-made man in whose footsteps he continues to follow the policies of live and let live, and kindness and generosity to all. Venki is married to Rotarian Vinita, a member of RC Chennai Towers, District 3232. Vinita is his classmate, a graduate of IIM Ahmedabad, and is a leading shipping professional in India. Venki and Vinita are parents of 2 daughters, Varsha and Varuna, both of whom are IT professionals employed in the US and the UK. The Rotary principles of service and ethics resonate vibrantly in Venki's family and professional life. He is a level 3 major donor. Venki is a keen bridge player, enthusiastic trekker, and loves Tamil theatre. Ladies and gentlemen, the Rotary International Director 2021-2023, A.S. Venkatesh.
Thank you, sir. We are eagerly waiting to be inspired by you about Rotary's public image.
Thank you, Ranga. Nice being here with 3181. Of course, it's not a district that's new to me. I've been here, of course, very recently at your pits. I mean, one of the last few pits before this lockdown happened thanks to COVID. I think it was in the first week of March, and I think soon after we had a complete lockdown. So Ranga was lucky to get his pits through before all this lockdown happened. Of course, I don't remember anything about the water shortage, just in case you wanted to recall that. Because you have a bath every day, so there's one of those days, so it doesn't matter. I did have a bath for the information anyway. Also, nice to see a lot of my good friends, past governors. I can see Krishna, who was the governor when I was a club president. Of course, Abhi from the neighboring district is there. Krishna Shetty is there. Ravi Appaji I saw. I also saw DG and Ravindra Bhatt. I might have missed some whom, because there's so many of them on the screen, I might have missed some. My apologies. It's indeed a pleasure to be addressing 3181 this evening on public image. Just to take you back a few years, maybe about 15, 20 years ago, Rotarians were generally keen on talking about Rotary. It was generally believed that you shouldn't be publicizing, you shouldn't be advertising what you do, and a good act will be known any which way. So why should you be talking about it? That was the general belief in those days. If some of the older senior Rotarians might recall, not much of attention was paid to promoting Rotary's public image per se. There is a saying in Tamil which translated means, if there is a flower shop, you don't need a board saying where the flower shop is. People will follow their nose and come to the flower shop. Now, flower shop does not need a signboard. That's a proverb in Tamil. But having said that, it is indeed imperative that we talk about what we do, not to boast about the kind of projects or service activities that we carry out, but more to draw more people into our organization. How do they know what Rotary is doing? So public image and promoting Rotary's brand equity becomes an important job of late, and that's what I intend talking about over the next 10-15 minutes. See, primarily, what I keep telling everyone wherever I go is publicize the work, not the people. Very often we make the mistake of publicizing the people involved rather than the work that we do. So if we focus on the work, we will be promoting public image of our organization to a much larger extent. Of course, over the last couple of months, thanks to COVID, and when everybody thought that we are going to be locked inside. Yes, we were in some sense locked inside, but the kind of service activities which Rotarians in India have carried out over the last 2 months, amazing. Just to put things in the right perspective, if I may give you some numbers, over the last 2 months, Rotarians around India have spent an equivalent of about 200 crores of rupees in community service activities related to COVID relief. This is excluding the foundation grants that I'm talking about. Excluding the foundation grants, Rotarians in India have spent about 200 crores, both in direct contribution to PM CARES as well as in terms of providing food, providing ventilators, providing masks, providing personal protection equipments, and all kinds of things, at least about 200 crores of Indian rupees. So that's a huge, huge contribution which Rotarians have done in this hour of crisis. So right now, I would say the Indian Rotary is quite bullish. People are pretty excited wherever I go. People are pretty excited to be part of Rotary. There's a lot of enthusiasm. And this is the time to really cash in. This is the time to really leverage the good work that we do into increasing our membership, increasing the image and the brand equity of Rotary. So I'm not planning to talk about how to promote your projects. I'm sure all of you know how to do it, and all of you have been doing it. Of course, in recent times, there's a greater emphasis on social media rather than the conventional media, which 3181 is fairly familiar with. So I'm not going to spend too much time on talking about the ways to publicize what we do. But I want to look at a different aspect. This has been occupying my mind for the last several years. I recall a conversation I had with the past international president, Ray Klingensmith, about promoting polio. This was in 2010, if I recall right, about 10 years back in Chicago when I was there for some meeting. And I remember having a conversation with past President Ray. And that was a time when we were promoting polio using this. We are this close to ending polio with the celebrities around the globe. I remember that time, I think Nelson Mandela was there, and even A.R. Rahman was there, and Amitabh Bachchan was there in these campaigns where they come and say, we are this close to ending polio. Just then when I was talking to Ray, I said, what are these people called? When I wanted to know the American terminology for this, they said, oh, they are brand ambassadors. So a natural corollary, I said, are they paid? Of course, Ray didn't tell me exactly whether they were paid or not. But then the thought that crossed our minds was that we have about 1.2 million unpaid brand ambassadors. If only we know how to leverage these 1.2 million brand ambassadors that we have. We're not going to charge you anything for promoting Rotary. So instead of going to a celebrity who would promote Rotary, probably for a fee, maybe not maybe for a fee, we have 12 lakhs, 1.2 million brand ambassadors of Rotary who are ready and who should be ready and willing to promote our brand. So why not use these brand ambassadors of Rotary? And then, of course, there was a social media campaign where all Rotarians were able to put up their picture with, we are this close to ending polio thereafter, and a lot of things happened. Be that as it may, the point is, how and when are we going to leverage the power of the Rotarians' ability to promote Rotary? Forget the celebrities, forget the volunteers outside of our organization. We have a big bunch of volunteers inside. How are we going to leverage this? So my first suggestion or thought that I want to share with you on this is, let's answer ourselves this question. How many of us wear our Rotary pin every day? I mean, you can answer it yourself following the 4-way test to be truthful and say, do you wear your Rotary pin every day, or do you wear it only when you go for a Rotary meeting? This is the first question I would ask. It might sound very simple, but there is a lot of weight to that. The reason I'm insisting on impressing on you the necessity to need to wear your Rotary pin every day. First of all, we should be, because I'm sure all of you are proud of being a Rotarian. If you're proud of it, there's no reason to hide it. So flaunt it wherever you go. Flaunt your Rotary pin. Whatever be it, maybe big pin or a small pin or a mini or micro or whatever you want to, but there are several sizes of pins available in the market. Just pick up one and make sure you flaunt your Rotary pin wherever you go. This gives us a chance to talk about Rotary, even if they don't, otherwise we may not have had the chance to talk about it. This wearing a pin, when somebody, a non-Rotarian outside of our organization looks at your pin, he has an opportunity to ask you what this is. And that gives you a chance to talk about Rotary. So the starting point for all this is each and every Rotarian should be ready and willing and should make it a point to wear this Rotary pin every morning. Whenever you step out of your house, till you get back to your house, you make sure you wear your pin. So this is the first suggestion that I want to strongly put forward to for the consideration of the Rotarians of 3181. Let's make it a habit. If we are not going to be brand ambassadors for Rotary, who else will be? So let's make it a habit to wear this pin. That's number one. I'm sure all of you will do it, right? It's not too difficult. The second point is, how many of us have as is often called, an elevator speech ready, meaning to talk about Rotary within 20 seconds. That will generate enough interest in the minds of the listener to ask more questions. How many of us are ready with the elevator speech? Because if you wear a pin and if you make sure somebody asks you about Rotary, do you have a speech ready with you? And mind you, it should be an elevator speech, as they normally say. You get into a lift with somebody, and before the lift reaches the destination, if somebody asks you a question, you should be able to generate that interest in that person. An elevator speech, it should not be more than 20 seconds or 30 seconds. Because if somebody asks you what is Rotary and you take 30 minutes to explain, you can be sure that that fellow would have run away by then. He's not going to wait listening to you. If you started in 1905, Paul Harris started Rotary, that's it, at the end of the story. You will not come to 2020. So let's not go there. You should be having a elevator speech ready. If you don't have one, get one ready right away. Spend the next day or two getting a 20-second speech about Rotary, which if somebody were to listen to, will generate that interest in them to ask you more questions about the organization, which can finally end up in them joining in our organization. So ultimately, we should be able to expand our organization, promote public image and brand equity of Rotary in such a way that Rotary becomes an organization of choice for people who want to do this kind of service. We should be an organization of choice. As I often say, it was also quoted in the magazines, we should not be in a position where we have to push Rotary to people. We should be able to pull Rotary to us, people to Rotary. By the way, what we do, the way we conduct ourselves, the way we perform, the way we do charity, the way we do service, we should be able to pull people into Rotary rather than pushing Rotary to people, which is what very often we do. We go and forcibly push Rotary down people's throat, trying to get them to join Rotary. That's not a very sustainable model. That may work in the short term, but that's not really a very sustainable model. So my request to you is, let's have, first of all, wear a pin and have an elevator speech ready. Every single member of our organization should have this speech. You don't know when you'll get a chance to use that speech of 20 seconds. It could be in a market, it could be in a shop, it could be in a cinema hall, it could be anywhere. It could be in a stadium watching a cricket match, it could be anything. Somebody can see your pin and say, what is this pin? Or maybe at the airport waiting. Of course, right now airports are closed, but whenever it opens, I'm sure you will have a chance to attract attention of someone with this pin. They might ask you, what is this pin? Then you have a chance to promote. So public image is very often we mistake public image to one putting it in newspaper or television ad or a Facebook post or Instagram post or whatever. Those are also promoting public image. I don't deny the role these methods play, but there's a much easier role which each one of us can play. This is what I want to press upon today. There's a role that each one of us can play to a much more effective fashion than all the other campaigns that we can run. Because we have, let's say, even in India, we have 165,000 Rotarians. Imagine if all 165,000 Rotarians wear this pin every morning when they step out of their house, wherever they are. Imagine the kind of visibility that we can generate. The kind of visibility that we can generate, kind of interest we can generate, kind of enthusiasm that we can whip up. So let's wear the pin. Let's also have a elevator speech ready. That's the second point. Third, which is again a thought that has been crossing, which I have been practicing. Whatever I am telling you is something that I have been practicing. So it's not something that I have not done that I'm suggesting to you. I practice before I preach. So I have been doing this personally. So third suggestion based on my own experience, which I want to share with you, is all of us subscribe to the Rotary News. Of course, it's mandatory as per the MOP that you need to subscribe to one magazine at least. And or majority of Indian Rotarians subscribe to the local regional news magazine, that's the Rotary News. Not maybe some of you may also be subscribing to the Rotarian, the international version, but I'm sure all of us are subscribing to the Rotary News. Now, the question is, it's a lot of information. Rotary News has 80 pages every month, a lot of information. How many of us keep this copy of Rotary News in the reception of our office or in the living room of our houses for visitors and guests to have us flip through when they're idling there? Do we do this? Is it too difficult? Not at all. You read it, it may take a day or two for you to read it. After that, you put it in the reception table in your office. So guests, your vendors, your customers, your clients, or if you're a doctor, maybe in the reception table of the clinic, wherever your visitors and your guests and others congregate and wait for some time, imagine if there is a Rotary News magazine lying there. You don't have to tell them to read. When they're idling, they might look at it, flip through it, they might get interested in knowing more about it. And when they come to meet you, they'll ask you, "Oh, I saw this magazine. What is this?" Then you have a chance to talk about Rotary. So all these activities and acts are intended to generate interest so that, as I keep saying, we should be able to pull people into Rotary. So if we, I've kept, in fact, my Rotary News copy will always be lying on my office table. And many have gone through it and they've come and asked me, what is this? What do you, of course, they may not immediately join Rotary for that matter, but at least it'll be working in their minds. Now they will chew it over, maybe sometime later, they might come back to you, ask for more details. Initial interaction, maybe a little hesitant to ask you too many questions. They go, oh, okay, and they may just get back. But then after a couple of visits, they may have summoned up enough courage to ask you more questions, more details. That again gives you a chance to talk about Rotary. So this is the power of individual Rotarians who could be brand ambassadors. So this is something that we can do. So the third point I wanted to tell you is Rotary News that we have, all of us have a copy of. Make sure it's available for others to read, particularly the non-Rotarians to read whenever the opportunity presents itself. Let us keep it, maybe if you are having a hotel, keep it in the hotel reception. I remember 13, 14 years back, we tried to put it in the airline seat pouches, and we got, those days it was Jet and SpiceJet were carrying Rotary News for a brief while. I don't know how many of you have noticed it then. I think it was in 2007, 8, 9. For 2 years, about 2 years, the airline seats had a copy of Rotary News free with a sticker on it which says, "Feel free to take it with you." Whenever somebody took it with them, we replaced it with the airlines. We had a MOU with the airlines then. It was a very good promotion of Rotary's image and brand equity. But subsequently, what happened was, because I was in that small committee which was involved in this promoting Rotary News, the airlines seat pouches. Subsequently, what happened was, these airlines felt this additional weight resulted in greater fuel consumption of the airline. This was the reason given to us. They said this additional copies lying inside the aircraft added to the weight of the aircraft and resulted in higher fuel consumption. And they said they wanted us to pay for it. Then we said, no, it's not worth it. We pulled it out of the airlines. But then this is some of the out-of-the-box work that we were trying to do then. But simple thing is, like, each one of us can keep it in our own office reception. That will make a huge impact. I'm sure it's not difficult, and from tomorrow I hope to see a lot more people promoting Rotary through these simple means. It doesn't cost us anything. We have a copy, just leave it there. We have a pin, just wear it. And of course, Rotarians don't have to be told to prepare a speech. Particularly if you ask any past governor, they'll be ready to speak. The common joke going around is, you give a Coca-Cola bottle to a past governor, he'll think it's a mic and start talking. Only the shape of a hand mic. So talking again, all of us love to. So we should be able to promote Rotary in these means. So the bottom line, as is often said, there are ways and means of promoting public image, the standard ones in terms of promoting a project in newspapers, in radio, in televisions, in social media, in pamphlets, and whatever. There are several conventional means and methods of promoting Rotary's image. All of that we please continue to do, but only my request is promote the organization rather than people. And just a note of caution, very often we call celebrities to our functions. Outside the Rotary world, like film personalities or sports personalities to our functions. It's a very good thing because you get your media coverage because of the celebrity's presence. The media may not cover the event, but they would because the celebrity is there. But just a note of suggestion there. If you're calling any celebrity, please make sure you brief them a little bit, at least a few minutes about Rotary. Because I have attended quite a few functions with some celebrities over the last several years. And on a few occasions, I've noticed the celebrities, when they talk, they interchangeably use the word Rotary and Lions. They don't even realize that they are in a Rotary organization which is very different from Lions. Because for them, Rotary, Lions, everything is one. And so it defeats the entire purpose of having them over. So my suggestion is, please brief them what Rotary is, so that the word Rotary is aged in their minds when they talk to the media or when they make an address on the, to the audience. So the celebrities will, the purpose of giving the celebrities is to get visibility for our organization. And if they're going to mess up with the name of the organization, mix up with something else, the entire purpose is defeated. So when you're calling celebrities, by all means, please do, but make sure you brief them a few minutes before they actually talk on about Rotary. So all these conventional methods of promoting Rotary, conventional methods of promoting our brand are very good. Go ahead with it. Don't have to stop. But let's not forget the power of one, the power of every single Rotarian to promote Rotary. It is not about big projects. Yes, they are important. It's not about huge media campaigns. Yes, they are important. It is finally in the hands of every single Rotarian who is committed to the cause. See, if we are spending money and time investing in our membership in the organization, as I often say, a good businessman seeks return on investment. If you are a good businessman and you are investing your time and resources in this organization, the return comes in by way of the satisfaction and the impact that you make in the community. And that impact can be much greater if we have a larger set of people promoting our organization. So friends, my only message for this wonderful district assembly that you've got is, let us not forget that the power to promote the image of Rotary is in our hands. Don't have to look at your club president, you don't have to look at the governor, you don't have to look at the director, you don't have to look at the president of Rotary International. The power is in our hands to promote Rotary. And we are all investing a lot of our time, money, effort, skills in this organization. Let's make sure all these things count. And how do we make sure? These simple things that I told you. I'm sure all of you will be able to do it and take this organization forward. Good luck, stay safe, God bless. Thank you.
Venki sir, you never fail to inspire us. You have inspired us in the pets. You have again inspired us again. So much food for thought you have given us. Thank you very much for being with us. When I asked you, requested you to, you never even thought for a second. You immediately said yes. Thank you for that. Thank you very much. There are a few people I would like to recognize and welcome. Our governor, the last governor of 3180 and PDG of 3182, Dr. Bharatesh, I would like to welcome you to this meeting. My Rotary Guru, K.R. Shanai, he is here from Puttur. I would like to recognize him. There is one Rotarian of our district who is in Shrewsbury, Boston. He has also checked in. Venkatachala, a Rotarian from Kollegala. He is already checked in from USA. Welcome to you, sir. Now we come to, welcome to you, sir. Now we come to impressions. May I request our district advisor, PDG K. Krishna Shetty, to give his impressions.
Am I audible, Ranga?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. My thanks to District Governor-elect Ranga for this opportunity. Before my impression, I would like to seek a clarification on one of the issues with our esteemed guest, General Secretary John Hewko, and our director, Venki. So, as per the new policy of Rotary International, Rotary clubs are no more a partners in service of Rotary, and they are independent in identity. Moreover, since from July 2022, the Rotaractors will have to pay $5 and $8 individually towards membership subscription for institutional and community-based Rotary clubs. The institutional-based Rotary clubs are members of mainly the students studying in colleges. As you are aware, in this part of the country, as a practice and tradition, college-going students are entirely dependent on their parents for their education and other expenses. With this issue of payment of membership subscription, I fear that survival of institutional-based Rotary club in this part is very much doubtful in this part of the country. I therefore kindly urge both of you international leaders to take up this issue at the RI board and find some viable solution so that the Rotaract movement in India, particularly the institution-based Rotaract Club, will continue to remain stronger. Can we have your comments on this, sir?
Is General Secretary there or has he left? I can't see him now.
I think he's left, sir. He's not available.
Anyway, Krishna, a good point that you have made because considering and Rotaract is, India is the largest country with Rotaractors. In fact, if I can give you some data, my district, for instance, 3232, we have 20,000 Rotaractors, not 20,000 Rotaractors. So it is indeed a matter to be debated and discussed. Yes, I fully heard you what you said, and I'm sure we will find out some solution to take this forward. It's a very valid point, Krishna. Let's see how to take it forward.
Thank you. Friends, now let me give my impression on this seminars. I'm really very much thankful to District Governor-elect for organizing such a wonderful virtual district training seminar. In 4 sessions spreading over for 4 days with the eminent speakers, so as RI President-elect Ugarnak, RI Director Valerie Wafer, General Secretary John Hewko, our Director-elect Venki, and past District Governor Sunil Zakaria. All of them with their wisdom and vast Rotary knowledge enlightened all of us on Rotary core values and its adaptation in Rotary clubs and districts. I'm sure and confident that all our incoming leaders of the district are now geared up to work efficiently with their gained Rotary knowledge in these virtual seminars. My thanks also goes to District Governor-elect Ranga for organizing all the 8 verticals seminars on 8 different topics, and also TRF Grand Seminar. My thanks to incoming First Lady Rajani for participating in all the virtual seminars held so far, which is really commendable. Friends, I now humbly request all our President and Secretary-elects to lead your districts with the adoption of all 5 core values of Rotary, such as service, fellowship, diversity, integrity, and fellowship, so as to help to enhance the public image of our district in particular. To help you in all these endeavors, you have set up very eminent dedicated Rotarians as assistant governors, district chairmen, and district secretariat members. Take their timely guidance and make your year a very successful year. With this remark, with this impression, I conclude my talk by wishing you all the best in the year to follow. Thank you.
Thank you, Krishnanna. You are like a pillar of strength to me, and you have been advising me as if I were your own brother. Thank you very much, sir. Now I request Past Governor Dr. Devdas Rai, our district councillor, to give his impressions. You're on mute, sir. Sir, you're on mute.
Unmute.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
At the very outset, I would like to congratulate District Governor-elect Rotarian Rangnath Bhatt for this excellent assembly. We were all slightly, we were at a loss to how to organize these kind of functions once the corona started, but the virtual assembly, Pratishtana, has really proved to be very beneficial. Not only that, as already District Advisor PD Krishna Shetty mentioned, the verticals.
Sir, network, I think, getting dragged.
Shall we ask him to stop his video and talk?
Yes, sir, better. I think we got disconnected, sir.
Shall we ask him to come in later?
Yeah, better, sir.
We'll wait for the problem to be solved. In the meantime, I would like to request our district trainer, Dr. R.S. Nagarjun, for giving his impressions on this program.
Thank you, Ranga. It was really wonderful. It is all started with our AGTS. We have, as AGTS and PETs were conducted as per our plan. Because of this pandemic, we are not able to do other training programs. But I think it is a blessing in disguise. With that, we are able to hear many more international leaders and national leaders. I think we have conducted the program as per our wish and plan. Though there are some limitations in that, we have already touched all the hearts of our presidents. And I think it is the right time for the president to take off from here and to be Hello?
Yes, sir. You're audible.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I think the Ranga has done exceedingly well in the training the presidents, and really I'm very happy to be the district trainer with this team, and I must thank the district secretariat for the wonderful support they have given, and most of all my ages of 2020-21, they have done exemplary work. They have pursued all the presidents and all the Rotary members to be present in this meetings for last 1 month. We are having we had around 20 to 22 meetings. The attendance is more than 200 in each meetings. It is definitely a feather in the cap of the AGs. I congratulate them and I wish them all the best. And I wish all the president and secretaries and the whole team. And I think next year will be a memorable year in the history of District 3181. Thank you, Ranga.
Thank you, Dr. Nagarjun. Now that almost all the training programs are over, I request you not to stop giving me all that guidance. I still need your guidance in the year to come. Thank you very much, sir. Now I request our DGN, our future leader, A.R. Ravindra Bhatt, to give his impressions.
Good evening to all. My dear friends in Rotary, first of all, let us know what is Pratisthana. Pratisthana means it is the foundation of learning or knowledge. So this DTS has enlightened the knowledge of all of us. Each speaker who spoke in all the 4 days training have motivated each and every Rotarian here. And my observation in this is that if membership increases, proportionately the TRF contribution increases. If TRF contribution increases, the fund in the grants increases. If grant increases, the service projects increases. If the service project increases to the society, this will serve the purpose of the goal of Rotary, which is achieved. And all these things we need not do to get a certificate or an award, but we should do for our own self-satisfaction, which is most important in our life. My dear friends, please keep it in your mind. If you do things, it is not that you are helping the district governor, but definitely you are taking the district further ahead during your tenure. One simple thing is that you please always be smiling. Smile on the face, you will have more friends, that is the positive energy to achieve your goals. And also dare to dream big. Nothing is impossible, be always motivated. Let us try to make a difference and make this year a great year. The best action to work together, I will definitely take from RID and AS Venkatesh. Important task is to see that the non-Rotarians should know what Rotary is doing to the society, and power is in our hands to promote Rotary. Definitely I take it into my consideration. And all these things are the words of the speakers who have spoken for 4 days. Rotary in India has made a huge contribution of more than 200 crores to our nation during this pandemic episode. How it happened is that it is because all Rotarians worked together to achieve this goal. Working together, we can achieve anything. So let us all work together. Together we can. That's all I can say. The GTTS was a great success, and hats off to Ranganath Bhatt and his team. They have completed successfully all the training in all the verticals also. I thank DG Ranganath and his team for giving me an opportunity to be a part of this entire program. At last, not the least, I wish all the incoming leaders of the district all the very best during their tenure. Thank you, Ranga, once again. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, my dear brother Ravindra Bhatt. You are spot on. You were spot on when you said that the three things, membership development, contribution, and global grants, it's all a vicious circle. Definitely, we will work together. We will make 3181 into a very, very great district. We'll definitely do that.
Yes, sir.
Praveen, is Dr. Devdas Rai, the problem is solved?
Let me check it out, sir. Let me check it out.
Okay, okay.
There's
Or I'll request our future leader, DGND Rotarian Prakash Karant, to make his comments or his impressions.
Respected District Governor Joseph Matthew, Keynote Speaker, Honorable RI Secretary John Hewko, Guest of Honor, RI Director-elect A.S. Venkatesh, DG Ranganath Bhatt, all PDGs, district leaders, and fellow Rotarians, good evening to all. In spite of present day adverse situation handicapped by COVID-19, our DG Ranganath Bhatt made good use of technology, even though he was not able to arrange training programs in person. He made it through Zoom app. DG has roped in stalwarts of Rotary like RI President-elect Rotarian Holger Knock, RI General Secretary John Hewko, and many RI directors. I think this is the first time RI President-elect, RI Secretary has addressed District Training Assembly. To sum up, I shall congratulate DG Ranganath Bhatt for arranging such a wonderful training program. All the resource persons are eminent personalities with experience and treasure of knowledge, have guided and given proper direction to the upcoming district leaders. ಬಹುಶಃ ರೋಟರಿಯ ಬೇರು ಏನು ಅನ್ನತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದನ್ನ ರೋಟರಿಯ ಅನುಭವ ಹೊಂದಿದ ತರಬೇತುದಾರರು ಇರ್ಬೋದು ಅಥವಾ ರೋಟರಿಯ ಜ್ಞಾನವನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿರತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಸಂಪನ್ಮೂಲದಾರರು ಇರ್ಬೋದು. ಇವತ್ತು ಆ ಮೂಲಕ ರೋಟರಿಯ ಶಾಖೆಯ ಅರಿವನ್ನ ನಮ್ಮ ಎಲ್ಲ ಲೀಡರ್ಸಿಗೆ ತೋರಿಸಿಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಮಾತಿದೆ, ಬೇರು ಏನು ಅಂತ ತಿಳಿದವನಿಗೆ ಎಲೆ ಏನು ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಿರ್ತದಂತೆ. ಆ ನಿಟ್ಟಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಸಾಲಿನ ತರಬೇತುದಾರರು ಇರ್ಬೋದು ಅಥವಾ ಸಂಪನ್ಮೂಲ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗಳಿರ್ಬೋದು, ರೋಟರಿಯ ಜ್ಞಾನವನ್ನ ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಬೆಳಗಿಸಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವರೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೆ ನನ್ನ ಹೃದಯಾಂತರಾಳದ ಅಭಿನಂದನೆಗಳು, ಅಭಿವಂದನೆಗಳು. ಅವರ ಏನು ನಮ್ಗೆ ರೋಟರಿ ಜ್ಞಾನ ದೀವಿಗೆಯನ್ನ ನಮ್ಗೆ ನೀಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಮುಂದಿನ ವರ್ಷದಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ DG ರಂಗನಾಥ್ ಭಟ್ರ ಅವಧಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ರೋಟರಿಗೆ ದಾರಿದೀಪವಾಗಲಿ ಅನ್ನತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಶುಭ ಹಾರೈಕೆಯೊಂದಿಗೆ I thank Rotarian Ranganath Bhatt for giving me an opportunity to be amongst you. Thank you all and wish you very fruitful year ahead.
Thank you very much, DGND Prakash Karant. Let's have a great time in the coming year, and definitely you will do great when you become the leader of our district. Now I request our district councillor, past Governor Dr. Devdas Rai, to give his impressions.
DGE Rotarian Ranganath Bhatt, I already gave the impressions, but I think I was offline. Yes. Anyway, congratulations for excellently arranging this Rotary District Assembly Pratishtana. We were all worried when the corona started how to go about the training programs, because the physical pets was very good. But the virtual District Assembly Pratishtana, the 8 verticals training sessions, and all the training sessions which have been conducted in the virtual by the virtual fashion have really proved to be very successful. We had the RI president. It is very difficult to get RI president elect physically, but we had Holger Knack, we had Valerie Wafer, we had today we had A.S. Venkatesh who did very excellent job, and then we had John Hewko. We had a host of various resource persons who have trained the president-elects
the secretary-elects and the office bearers for their assignment next year. My call to all the office bearers of the next year, that is the year to come, is please remember the theme, Rotary opens opportunities. Rotary opens opportunities in various aspects regarding service opportunities, membership development, foundation, the Rotary opens up. So please remember this and act accordingly. And you have been called as a trailblazers. I wish all of you will be trailblazers next year. I wish all of you all the very best. I wish District Governor-elect Rotarian Rangnath Bhatt and his team all the very best. Thank you.
Thank you, Past Governor Dr. Devdas Ray. To all the participants here, I would like to tell them that you feel that you are very much fortunate when you have a walking encyclopedia to advise you and a committed Rotarian to advise you. I am talking about Dr. Devdas Ray. Thank you very much for agreeing to be the district councillor. Thank you very much. Now, before we proceed to the vote of thanks, I would like to acknowledge all the help given by the Secretariat and the AGs for making this possible. We had the guidance of Dr. Nagarjun, Rotarian Past Governor Krishnanna, and Devdas Rai for making this function a great success. I would like to individually acknowledge 3 persons who, behind the scenes, they did a lot of work. One is Raghavendra Yarangal from, he is the social media chairman. He gave such a wide publicity for this DTA and all the training events that we were holding. Thank you, Raghavendra. And I would also again like to thank Meghana Anand, daughter of our Rotarian Oscar Anand, for those wonderful invitations that she made for us. And third is I can never thank him. I can never thank him enough, Praveen Udupa, for wonderfully hosting this district training assembly. Now I would request Rotarian Ganesh Kamath to propose the vote of thanks.
Am I audible?
Yes, yes. You are.
Thank you, DG Rotarian Rangnath Bhatt and First Lady Rajini Bhatt for giving me this opportunity. I feel like words are not enough to express the gratitude towards everyone responsible for this event. Our district training assembly has really gone international. It was RI Director Valeria Weffer who inaugurated the district assembly. President-elect of Rotary International, Holger Knack, gave a wonderful message to all our Rotarians. Today, during the valedictory section, the General Secretary and CEO of Rotary International, Rotarian John Hewko, has given us much thought for food. His presence and suggestions have definitely motivated all of us and highlighted the benefits of people joining a Rotary Club. Thank you very much, sir. On behalf of all the Rotarians, I thank you very much. RI Director-elect A.S. Venkatesh is coming for the second time. The first time he had come to Kushalnagar, and it was very inspirational address to our incoming leaders. We invited him again, and he readily agreed to come and address us on the Rotary public image. He has done justice to the subject. Sir, your address was superb and explicit. Rotarians themselves can promote Rotary and don't need any paid brand ambassadors. Your activity should pull people to Rotary. Thank you, sir. I also thank District Advisor PDG K. Krishna Shetty, District Councillor PDG Dr. Devdas Rai, District Trainer PDG RS Nagarjuna, especially for his guiding us in planning this training meeting. DGN Ravindra Bhatt and DGND Prakash, Karan for being present for all our sessions. I big thanks to all PDGs, members of Secretariat, assistant governors and chairmen of various committees, zonal leaders and zonal coordinators, presidents, secretaries, members, also Rotarian PK Acharya from District 3262. Thank you one and all. Special thanks to Rotarian Rajini Bhatt for being present by the side of the DG Rangnath Bhatt throughout all the sessions of the DTA.
Thank you.
I thank you. I also thank Rotarian Praveen Udupa for hosting all the programs of the DTA very efficiently. Thank you one and all.
Thank you, Ganna, for that wonderful vote of thanks. Like I would like to say to all the trailblazers who are here and also those who are not here, love you guys. We will have a great year in the year 2020-2021. Let's rock. Thank you very much. Praveen, thanking you again. We'll sign off.
Good night.
Good night.